In 1757, the British East India Company won the Battle of Plassey and took control of Bengal. Over the next 190 years, they drained an estimated of $45 trillion from India. Yes, $45 trillion through taxes, trade scams, and looting.
In June 1947, Britain's crushing war debts and Gandhi's salt marches made them ghost India in 10 weeks flat. They hired Sir Cyril Ratcliffe, who once thought Punjab was a desert, to sketch a border with zero local maps. Ratcliffe cut Punjab and Bengal like a cook with a blindfold, rushing to finish on time. 2 days after independence, the surprise border was announced. No pressure. Grab the kids and the goat, let's go! Trains became human sardines, and communal violence spread faster than chai gossip. 1 to 2 million lives were lost in the ensuing chaos. Wait, who invited me to this breakup party?
In 1947, Kashmir hadn't picked a side. It had a Hindu king, but a Muslim majority. Pakistan said, hey, that should be ours, and sent tribal fighters to take it. Unofficially, of course. The Maharaja panicked and signed Kashmir over to India. And India flew in troops. Fine, take the crown, take the land, but stop the invasion. Boom. India and Pakistan were officially at war. Months after partition, the UN eventually stepped in, drew a line, and said, okay, let's all calm down. Kashmir was left divided. India got most of it, Pakistan got a slice, but neither forgot. In 1965, Pakistan sent fighters into India-controlled Kashmir to start a rebellion, and the war began again. The local people did not join the rebellion, so India sent in regular troops. The fight grew into a full-scale war along the Punjab border, with tanks rolling in and jets flying overhead. The war lasted 17 days. Around 3,800 Indian and 3,000 Pakistani soldiers died. Worried about Cold War tensions, the US and the Soviet Union told both sides to stop fighting. In 1966, Soviet leader Alexei Kosygin helped broker the Tashkent Agreement. India and Pakistan pulled their troops back, but they didn't solve the Kashmir issue, so the anger stayed. By 1971, East Pakistan boiled with anger. It had more people than West Pakistan, but barely any power or money. The Awami League, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, won big in the 1970 elections and demanded autonomy. But the military rulers in West Pakistan rejected their demands. On March 25, the army launched Operation Searchlight, a violent crackdown on students, thinkers, and civilians. They burned down houses, raided universities, and filled the streets with fear. Over 10 million refugees flooded into India, fleeing the bloodshed. India, already overwhelmed, began arming and training the Mukti Bahini, Bengali fighters resisting the crackdown. Then on December 3, Pakistan bombed Indian air bases, hoping to catch India off guard. India said game on and launched attacks from 3 sides. Indian troops stormed in from the east, west and northeast. In just 13 days, they surrounded the Pakistani army in East Pakistan. On December 16th, Pakistani forces surrendered. Just like that, Bangladesh was born. Around 90,000 Pakistani soldiers surrendered, and millions of civilians suffered or died in the chaos. One of the fastest and most heartbreaking wars in modern history. In 1974, India did its first nuclear test in the Pokhran Desert, calling it Smiling Buddha. They said it was a peaceful test, but it clearly showed that India now had nuclear weapons capability. This made other countries in the region very worried, especially Pakistan. Since India and Pakistan had been rivals since partition, Pakistan saw this as a serious threat. Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto said Pakistan would also make nuclear weapons, no matter how much it cost. India built its nuclear program mostly on its own, but Pakistan took a different route. A Pakistani scientist named Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan was working in the Netherlands at a uranium enrichment facility. He secretly took designs for gas centrifuges and came back to Pakistan. He helped set up Pakistan's uranium enrichment program, which was a major step towards making nuclear weapons. Over the next 2 decades, Pakistan developed its nuclear program in secret. It acquired restricted materials through covert procurement networks and built an underground infrastructure to avoid international detection. The government publicly claimed the program was for peaceful purposes only. In May 1998, shortly after India conducted their second series of nuclear tests, Pakistan carried out their own tests in the Chagai Hills of Balochistan. These tests confirmed that Pakistan had developed their own nuclear capability. With both countries now declared nuclear powers, the security situation in South Asia changed significantly. India and Pakistan, with a long history of military conflicts and unresolved territorial disputes, now had nuclear weapons pointed at each other. These tests led to international concerns and sanctions from countries like the USA and Japan, but both countries remained firm in their programs. The India Pakistan rivalry had entered a more dangerous phase, defined by deterrence, risk, and uncertainty. In early 1999, Pakistani soldiers and armed fighters crossed the line of control and took over the high mountain positions in the Kargil area of Jammu and Kashmir, which is on the Indian side. These spots were normally left empty during winter because of the extreme cold and heavy snow. Pakistan used this chance to sneak in. Their main aim was to cut off India's supply line by targeting the Srinagar-Leh highway. They also wanted to create pressure on India for talks over Kashmir. From these heights, the intruders could see and fire on Indian routes easily. At first, the Indian army didn't realize how big the problem was. But once they found out, they launched Operation Vijay. Around 30,000 to 35,000 Indian soldiers were sent in to take the positions back. They had to climb steep rocky hills while being fired at by the enemies, usually at heights over 16,000 feet. The Indian Air Force also joined the fight under Operation Safed Sagar. They flew planes in tough mountain areas and bombed enemy bunkers and supply lines to help the army on the ground. The battles carried on for more than 2 months. Slowly but surely, Indian forces pushed the intruders back. By July 1999, India had taken back nearly all the captured positions. India lost around 527 soldiers, and Pakistan also had many casualties. The world reacted strongly. Pakistan was blamed for breaking the peace by crossing the LOC. The US and other countries told Pakistan to pull back. Under pressure, PM Nawaz Sharif flew to Washington to talk things out. At first, Pakistan said the people involved were just militants fighting on their own. But later, clear proof showed that the Pakistani army soldiers were directly involved. In the end, the border did not change, but the damage was done. India saw this as a betrayal, especially because peace talks had happened just a few months earlier. Trust between the two countries dropped even more, and the rivalry became even more dangerous.